Let's bring in our Canucks reporter and the host of Rink Wide Vancouver, Mr. Jeff Paterson from Rogers Arena, who took in the events of morning skate this morning. Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, hi, guys. Not much in the way of an eventful morning skate. It was optional, it was quick, and in fact, we were told that Adam Foote wanted to do media, so I only saw about 5 minutes of a handful of players on the ice, and then we ducked under the stands to talk to the head coach, who then confirmed that, yes, Philip Chytil will play for the first time since that October 19th game in Washington, the same game that Teddy Bluger was injured in. And, hey, why not? Jonathan Lecker-Mackey was hurt that day too. So they won, but lost a bunch of players. And some might say that was the day that the season took a turn. They were 4-2 after that victory. They had won 3 in a row, and we know it has gone sideways since then. So, yeah, really interested to see what Philip Chytil, after 3 months out, looks like. He's been skating with the group since Christmas, mostly in a red non-contact jersey. He shed that out on the road and says that he's been challenged and pushed by teammates, maybe not even as hard as he would have liked. But he thinks he's ready to go, and we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, he's played just 6 games this season. He's missed the last 44. Okay, Mike, if we can play the clip where he pushes back a little bit on the concussion file. We will also get to more of Philip Chytil, where we hear from him about his return and on other matters. But, Jeff, you flagged this for us, so we'll play the clip and we'll come back and discuss. You hear this a lot, sadly, with athletes returning from concussions where they want to quibble with the media reporting about it. In some cases, it's completely spot on because, of course, these guys tend to disappear. You don't see what they're going through. But in other cases, it's defense mechanism. Here's Philip Chytil.
I said many times, like, what I know about myself and my closest people knows what I go through. And sometimes it's said in the media how many concussions I had and whatever, but it's just the number what I seen sometimes. It's crazy that people can write this number when they don't know anything about it, you know? Like, I'm not gonna say how many concussions I had in my life, but yeah, the number what people say on the internet is crazy. I know what kind of injuries those are, and I know what I'm going through, and my closest people here as well knows. So I'm not bothered about anything. And I just want to come back and play. And how I said, there are some details in my game what I have to focus on. But yeah, I gotta go shift by shift, and yeah, it's gonna be okay.
So I've used the number 6, and I'm gleaning that from a Canucks Army story last year when he went out of the lineup with a concussion, one that was confirmed by Rick Tocchet. It is simply reporters who have covered his career, counting the number of times where he has taken absences after being hit, Jeff. But you tell me, does he have a point there? Like, is 6 a crazy...
He could have set the record straight and chose not to.
Yeah. Jeff?
Right, and I've seen a lot of people pushing back that sounds like a guy that's had too many concussions, and that's what he's going to say. Now, I'm not privy to the medical charts, so is it conceivable that 1 or 2 of them or neck injuries or whiplash as opposed to diagnosed brain injury? It's a gray area. He's missed time. So I don't know that I can add an awful lot in that regard, other than it was a pretty simple question, and he chose to sort of take it in that direction and get a little defiant. So, for the most part, I sounded like a guy this morning that was pretty excited to get the green light to get back in there. He has said a couple of times, because we talked to him on Sunday after practice as well, where he said, like, I'm not going to change. I don't want to change. And yet, if you continue to play straight lines and, open yourself up to these big hits, then, I don't know how many more opportunities he's going to get. Now, in saying that, so many Canuck games are non-hitters these days, right? That maybe the environment right now, but in saying that too, they played Chicago late season, mid-March last year, neither team going anywhere, and Jason Dickinson decided to go rogue for some reason and drill Chytil from behind. So even in a non-hitting game, you can still run into trouble. That wasn't Tom Wilson who lined him up in the railroad tracks in the neutral zone after he dished off the puck. That was Dickinson just choosing to hit a guy from behind for no reason. in a late season game. So when you step onto NHL ice, you are inviting contact. You are putting yourself in the line of fire. And he knows that. He has to know that. And ultimately, whether it's 6 or more or less, it's a lot. And I can understand the concern that a lot of people have about this player coming back in meaningless games here where he could have sat out for another 5 months and been ready for training camp. But clearly a competitor in him wants to prove to himself that he can do this for a living. And I guess we'll find out starting tonight.
I can't help but think that he's already setting himself up for unrestricted free agency and wanting to make sure that he's got enough runway underneath him that he can prove to somebody that he's worth investing in. Again, just next year under contract for the Canucks before he is a full-fledged UFA. And this is not something the Canucks can do right now, Jeff, but people have theorized that he should be a winger to preserve himself, get away from the open ice a little bit. If the Canucks can ever fortify their top 2 center positions, that might be an option. Like if you got Rossi and Paterson both healthy, do you just stack him up into the top 6 and have him as a winger for one of those lines?
I've got time for the argument. Have only seen him as a center, so probably require a little bit of observation. But on the surface, I mean, the theory makes sense that although if you're on the wing, you're also working along the walls and supposed to be battling in the corners for pucks and those types of things. And so we'll see how it goes. The idea of the Canucks having enough center depth that they could take a center and
I know,
the wing.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a good little chuckle there, but hey, it's a Friday. So, let's move past that part of it. I am kind of curious, and also they're putting him back on, like they're plugging him in on the line with Drew O'Connor on one side and Brock Besser on the other, and we know the struggles of Brock, but he played a little bit with Brock Besser last season as well, and that to me is oil and water. I mean, everything Chytil does, he's at speed. That's not Brock's forte, and maybe the idea is to get Brock on his horse and hope that he can hustle a little bit, but those other 2 guys certainly can skate. So, David Kamp's been parked in that spot. David Kamp's actually been productive of late. I don't know where that came from. Maybe he saw that Blueger and Chytil were coming back and wanted to stake his claim for a roster spot or a spot in the lineup at the very least. But he's going to play center tonight. Now, at some point, Blake, maybe they do move him to the wing and see what that looks like. I think the other thing, too, here is there's 32 games to go. There's nothing that says Filipino has to play all 32.
No.
Right?
No.
Like, if he gets a 10-game set and says, okay, you know what? I did prove that I'm okay, but I am going to step aside and take the summer to completely heal and all that. Like, I could understand that. Again, he's a competitor. I know deep down he wants to play, but is it in his best interest to play all 32 games in a season that is going absolutely nowhere for the hockey club that employs him?
Yeah, and no back-to-backs for the Canucks until early March. Who's coming out tonight, Jeff?
Max Sasson will be the odd man out along with Ratu. So, well, he only played 7 minutes the other night. So I'm not surprised at that with Blueger back and getting his 18 minutes. And Adam Foote did say that they would certainly monitor Chytil. They didn't have any kind of governor on Teddy Blueger. He penalty killed. He was out there late preserving the lead, ended up getting 18 minutes in his return, which I think was a number that surprised me a little bit. I would have thought it would have been more in the 14 to 15 minute range, but the game dictated. And again, there were no limitations on Blueger. I do think that there are some training wheels here a little bit on Philip Chytil. And so, you're going to have Petey. They didn't have enough skaters here for any kind of line rushes, and yesterday they were missing the 6 veterans that got maintenance days, rewarded for that first win in forever. So Adam Foote did say it would be Chytil with Besser and O'Connor, but otherwise we're left to sort of speculate. I think it'll be Kane and Paterson along with DeBrusque on the top line, and the way that Blueger played with Garland and Liam Ogren the other day, I don't know that you want to touch that. So that's just my hunch. And then David Kampf will drop down. Höglander and Linus Karlsson would be his likely wingers.
And in goal?
Kevin Lankinen. And I think it'll be Kevin Lankinen for the foreseeable future with the no back-to-backs here. I don't know that he'll get every game on the remainder of the homestand. Nikita Tolopilo has been playing down in Abbotsford. My hunch is that we'll see him recalled and get another chance next week rather than Jiri Patera, who is up here as the backup. Patera got his 1 game in Florida. didn't go so well. I don't know that they're committed to getting him any more NHL action. So my hunch is that Polopilo will play. Abbotsford's at home again this weekend, and then maybe we see Nikita get the recall sometime next week.
We rightfully gave some credit to Adam Foote for getting the veterans to perform the other night. It would be nice if it's not just an island.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's
an isolated incident,
yes,
if
exactly.
you will.
If it's a right back to the same old, I don't know that he gets to keep the credit anymore here, Jeff.
No, fair enough. I think they've got another opponent that's gettable here. The Devils back-to-back 2-1 wins in Alberta, but they don't score many goals. Canucks beat them 2-1 in that first game of the road trip, the first game after the Quinn Hughes trade when Zeev Buium scored and had an assist. We all thought, wow, this guy's going to be a 2-point-a-game guy. It hasn't turned out to be that for Zeev Buium, but no, I mean, the Devils have had their issues. Old friend Jacob Markstrom has not been able to stop a lot of pucks this season, and he will get the start here in goal tonight. So, again, I think the Canucks are going to have to test him and see if they can't do what they did to an Olympian. And, well, I guess Markstrom was an Olympian too, but do what they did to Logan Thompson the other night against the Washington Capitals. But, no, I mean, there does seem to be a lighter mood around this group, and you can understand. I mean, it's just one win, but after all of that losing, change can do this group good. So we'll see how they back it up. But, again, I guess they proved the other night, hey, even if they fall behind 2-0, they're not out of the hockey game. But that's probably not the prescribed way to attempt to back up one win with another, is falling behind by a couple of goals like they did against the Capitals.
Just one Hughes tonight. We used to see 3 Hugheses when New Jersey and Vancouver got together, but just one Hughes tonight. And, God, Jeff, I went through it today. So they have a 4-game winning streak this year. They have a 3-game winning streak. And is that it? Like, this would be the third time they've won consecutive games all
they went
season
forever
long?
without winning consecutive games. And then they rattled off the 4 in a row to start the road trip. It's been bleak, Matt.
Yeah, they have 17 wins. Like, you just accounted for 7 of them with those other streaks.
No, I know, and they haven't won consecutive games on home ice all season long. So, anyways, should be a good one, Jeff, at Rogers Arena on a rare
It's Friday night.
Friday night.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm sure the crowd will be stoked. Thank you for this, my friend. Busy weekend of rink-wide Vancouver for Jeff and the gang with tonight's game, and then of course, you've got Sunday as well, and that's, Jeff, answer me
3
this.
o'clock start.
Yeah.
Why are you doing afternoon hockey on the day of NFL Conference Championship? There's so many sports that clear out because they know they can't compete with the NFL
All
Championship.
day NFL Championship.
And the Canucks are going at 3 p.m. right up against the Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah, and obviously they had no way of knowing the Seahawks would be in it, but to your greater point, every year the schedule comes out and I just shake my head. The number of times Canadian teams and the Canucks in particular have been scheduled on Grey Cup Sunday, whether the Lions are in it or not.
Right.
Just steer clear. All 7 Canadian teams dark that day. And it never makes any sense to me. They steer clear of Super Bowl Sunday. They get the early games, right? There's those traditional early games, but nobody goes up against the Super Bowl. And so you're right. Like, there's no need. I have no idea why this is a 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon game with Sid the Kid in town. But it is, and that's when the puck will drop. And you're right. I think a lot of people in these parts, their attention will be focused more on football than it will on a hockey game, even though Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Ben Kendall, by the way, making his first appearance here. So there's tons of storylines on Sunday, but that just seems like silly scheduling on the part of the National Hockey League.
A regular puck drop, and you can watch both games comfortably.
Yeah, well, I mean, these NFL games are going to do like 35, 40 million viewers.
But 7:15, a 7:15 puck drop is 3 hours and 45 minutes after kickoff. Like, you can watch both of them easily.
Yeah, and we've done that before, where you finish the football day and then you go into the Canucks game because it starts at 7 p.m. Pacific on. Anyways.
And they do it on that Hockey Hall of Fame night too. Is another night. Like, just go dark. Like, these are your legends you're enshrining, but oh no, Carolina is playing at San Jose that night.
Right.
And so often people that are being inducted, they're involved in the game still. They're tied up with the schedule. Like, that one just kills me every year that they go head to head with their own induction ceremony.
Yeah. Well, we'll have rink wide regardless tonight, and of course after the 3 p.m. final horn, whenever the final horn is, 5:30ish, I guess, on Sunday against the Penguins. Sidney Crosby coming to town. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, guys.